Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fun, exciting, great, legendary, uh, some might say epic episode of the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad. We're here to bring you all extensive, exclusive coverage of all 32 teams today. So we're going to continue in our preseason series with the Los Angeles Chargers. They are coming off of a season where they flip from 5-12 and they go 11-6, and then they have that early playoff exit. Um, Starting with the quarterback Justin Herbert, I really want to start getting into him. I would easily say Justin Herbert is the best player on the team. He's the veteran presence, the leader, the guy that they're going to have to rely on just game after game. You know, it's his job to go out there, mold and mesh these guys together. He is the quarterback to me that can, he can make talented throws. He can be mobile. He can make good decisions. He can lead great drives. He can, even if you're down by a score or two, like, don't count Justin Herbert out of any game really until it's over. So he's just a great leader, all around. And as a Denver fan who sees him twice a year, I definitely have a lot of respect for him. So yeah, PFF does have him ranked number eighth. They're saying that he might be the best regular season quarterback in non-clutch situations. One big thing, yeah, late game or high pressure moments and/or getting to the playoffs. So he's a guy that's going to go out there. He's going to put up his numbers. If you have him as a fantasy quarterback, like he's definitely a tremendous fantasy quarterback in that sense. But
Sure.
I'd like to ask that, where do you rank Justin Herbert amongst starting quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah, I see Justin Herbert as a top 10, borderline top 10 level quarterback. We've certainly seen him do what he do. And as you say, he can make pretty much any throw he needs to. He's got the talent. There's no question about it. The real question and knock on Justin Herbert has been, can he lead a winning team? Can he take a team into the playoff, win a tough game there? We haven't seen it yet. That is something that he would need to do to prove he's willing to take the next step and elevate from like a borderline top 10 level quarterback to one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he's got elite talent. There's no question about it, but can you take the next step? We're all waiting to see it. I know the Chargers fans, they're eager to move past the first round of the playoffs, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if Justin Herbert with his weapons can do that this year.
And a really dynastic weapon that you have brought onto the table. We speak of Justin Herbert using his weapons. Look no further than his best weapon, Lad McConkey. I mean, what can we say about Lad McConkey? The what will be now second year player out of Georgia. So to me, Lad McConkey is just, you never know. Like, he can literally surprise you at any given moment. He can make big plays. I mean, for a player his size and going out here on the NFL stage and doing what he's doing, just, I mean, I have tremendous respect. And Lad McConkey goes out there and he puts heart into what he does, game in and game in and game out.
Yeah, he puts heart into what he does. He's a very quality presence. He was one of the better rookie receivers last year. I'd have to rank him in the top five. Obviously, Neighbors was up there. Brian Thomas was up there. He's not quite in that tier, but had an outstanding rookie season for the Chargers. So, and they really needed that last season because they lost some of their top receivers, guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen left, but now Keenan Allen has come back. So that's another big storyline for this team. How can he sort of reinvigorate his career in the late stages? Can he reacclimate himself to a Chargers offense? I'm really interested to see that myself for Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No question, doubt about that for sure. Yeah, Keenan Allen, I mean, you bring him back and everything. So to me, Keenan Allen is definitely a seasoned veteran wide receiver in the league. So having that leadership presence to help mentor guys like Lad McConkey, guys like Quentin Johnson. I have been liking what I've been seeing out of Quentin Johnson, though you kind of feel like he's still trying to build himself as a wide receiver in the league. Not gonna lie, not fairly big on the offensive line. Um, but the PFF does have them ranked number 10th nonetheless. You got guys like Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. They're saying two big question marks surrounding the interior offensive line. Zion Johnson has failed to live up to his draft status so far. So we'll see what happens with the offensive line. I mean, yeah, they are a top 10 offensive line according to
And
PFF.
and of course that was before the injury to Rashawn Slater, who's going to be out for the season. So that's definitely a factor there.
Yeah.
So with Slater, I mean, he was one of the best players on the team, I'd say. I mean, a very high draft pick out of Northwestern several years ago in 2021. And now they kind of just have to rebuild the offensive line from scratch. That's not something you want to do in the middle of training camp, but all you can do is put the next man up. Puts a lot of responsibility into second year player Joe Alt, gives a big opportunity to veteran Trey Pipkins the third. So there's going to be players that have to step up and make up for losing their best offensive lineman. That's not going to be an easy task.
You didn't necessarily go out. Well, you actually did. You drafted sixth round player Branson Taylor, the offensive tackle out of Pittsburgh. Tad, but the biggest thing when it comes to the Chargers draft, first round pick Omarion Hampton, the running back out of North Carolina. I'm really excited to see what Omarion Hampton can do. And it's going to be a tough job for him with the offensive line and everything. But Omarion Hampton, Tad, I'm excited to see what kind of carries he can get. With the top 10 offensive line, you got to figure that he's going to get quite a bit of them. And from a fantasy perspective, Omarion Hampton will be insane.
Yeah. If I were to rank Omarion Hampton amongst rookie running backs, I'd probably put him around the third or fourth spot. A very quality player coming out of North Carolina. I mean, he'll get his touches. Najee Harris, he's still working his way back from the firework incident hurting his eyeball. So we're going to see how he comes back. He'll be fine. It's going to be an interesting running back tandem. I think there's going to be a very split backfield there. They'll both get their carries. They're kind of different style backs. Najee Harris more power. Omarion Hampton more dual threat type running back.
You also got Trey Harris that you drafted, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Keandre Lambert Smith, the wide receiver out of Auburn. Touching on the tight end room a little bit, you got Will Dissly in there, but you also went out and drafted Oronde Gadsden, the second, the tight end out of Syracuse. Will Dissly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super big on Will Dissly. Kind of just, he's a veteran leader if nothing else, but he's serviceable to me. Will Dissly is serviceable enough to be a solid enough tight end, but I feel like they're probably going to go more reps of Tyler Conklin this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they're going to even give a chance for Gadsden, the draft pick. I think they'll give him a chance to get some playing time. He could work his way up the depth chart to get some touches. We'll see how that goes. Like you said, not exactly the strongest tight end room, but they do have some veterans that can take some pressure off the receivers at times.
Absolutely. Yeah. So another thing that's going to be key here in a Greg Roman system is being able to get your tight end room involved and everything. Greg Roman going into his second year now, being the offensive coordinator on that side of the football. Shifting gears to the other side of the football, the defense. We got Khalil Mack, Tad, easily the best player on the defensive side of the football for this Chargers team. And even late in his career, he still can be a bodily presence, a bodily force. And one of the more premier defensive players in NFL history.
Yes, definitely Khalil Mack, a high level player, certainly a super seasoned veteran now and still playing at an elite level. He's going to have to be a leader on this defense. We have a few other guys that could be leaders, but I think Khalil Mack has a very good chance to immediately take a big leadership role, still playing linebacker at an elite level. And I think he has a chance to be a big player for this defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to have to go out there and be a leader, especially for some of the guys that you drafted. Jamare Caldwell, the defensive tackle out of Oregon. You also drafted edge rusher Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina. You went out and got two safeties, R.J. Mickens, the safety out of Clemson, and Trick Wizzy Bridges, the safety out of Florida. So how can they incorporate, the development under a guy like, Khalil Mack being that defensive locker room leadership presence? Because Khalil Mack's going to go out there and play at a high level game in and game out, even at this, stage late in his career. So, and he's going to need help, from guys too, like Derwin James Jr. in the secondary. Honestly, probably I would say Derwin James Jr. probably their best secondary player in my opinion. I mean, Elijah Molden, he's also very solid, the fourth year player out of Washington. Obviously, I do like Tariq Still, even. I am excited to see what he can still develop into. I think he's going to develop into one of the more premier CBs in the league in the years to come, especially under a Jim Harbaugh system. So keep your eyes out there for Tariq Still. I think the potential there is tremendous for him. I mean, obviously he's not going to be like a PS2 or a Riley, maybe like a Riley Moss first day, like right off the bat. But but he's good. He's good, and I'm excited to see what he can do out there. And then you kind of have like I'd say a veteran status CB, Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson, he's a veteran presence out there. He's going to he's going to get his disruptions. So did you have any other takes on the secondary?
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd back up the take on Derwin James being by far the best player in the secondary. What can you get out of Dante Jackson? I think that's a big question mark. He's had some moments, some good moments, some bad moments, and I think it's going to be interesting also how the younger players come up. Cam Hart, Tariq Still, going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, Cam Hart. Yeah, absolutely. Denzel Perryman, even I even like Denzel Perryman. I mentioned Kyle Kennard. Kyle Kennard is going to have to go out there. Bud Dupree, even shout out to him. Even Jasir Taylor, I think Jasir Taylor is going to go out there. Benjamin St-Juste, I don't want to forget Benjamin St-Juste. I think he's a very solid player as well. So there's some depth to this defense, and Jesse Minter, coming into his second year, now all previously worked with Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. So Chargers fans have so much to be excited for under a Jim Harbaugh system. Obviously, can you get past that first round of the playoffs? Now, I feel like that's kind of like where the Chargers are at. Can you get past the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely a big question. I mean, we've seen that this is a team that can win. Jim Harbaugh is a very high quality coach. He's won wherever he's gone. Obviously, winning the national championship at Michigan, making the Super Bowl with San Francisco. He's just another high level coach in a division with a lot of high level coaches. So, can he continue that?
Real quick before we get into the special teams room, shout out to Scott Matlock, one of the more premier fullbacks in the league. We didn't touch on him, the fullback Scott Matlock. He is, like I said, a very solid fullback now in his second year out of Boise State. I feel like fullbacks ought to get a mention too. Yeah, they do a lot of work that doesn't get recognized. The fullbacks.
Certainly.
Yeah, Cameron Dicker. He is going to be called on to kick the field goals. So he will be coming in now into his fifth season. Um, yeah, out of Texas. I definitely think Cameron Dicker is definitely a very solid kicker in the league. J.K. Scott will be the punter and the holder. Now in his seventh year out of Alabama, was originally drafted by a team that Tad may or may not be too fond of. Um, yeah, Darius Davis will be the returner, but yeah, J.K. Scott. I mean, I don't want to discount him as a holder in the league. Like J.K. Scott is one of the more premier holders in the league, and one of the main reasons why he's such a great holder, Tad, is because, well, he has a certain man snapping the ball to him. If you want to tell us about that.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl long snapper Josh Harris, one of the premier long snappers in the league. He made the Pro Bowl 2021, was also second team All Pro that year with the Atlanta Falcons. That was actually his last year in Atlanta. Since then, he's joined the Chargers as of 22, signing a 4-year, $5.6 million contract. So they see him as a very high level long snapper. He was born in Germany. Very interesting there. Played his college football at Auburn, won the BCS national championship with that team led by Cam Newton. Very fond memories there from way back then. So he is a very much a seasoned veteran at this point. We know that was a while ago, and now he's still playing. So he's playing at a high level.
Yeah, yeah, very exciting stuff for Josh Harris there. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow on the Gridiron Glory, where you can hear exclusive long snapper reports from Tad Dorsey, and exclusive offensive line reports and fullback reports.
Yes.
We cover all positions, even the holder, even the holders. We talked
Even the
about
holder.
as
So
well. So yeah, be sure to stay. Oh, and the return man. We got to talk about.
looking at the Chargers, what do you think? Better, worse than the 11-6 a year
I'm gonna
ago?
go ahead and say probably better. I mean, this is gonna be a tightly contested AFC West. I mean, I could see them winning anywhere from 9 to 12 wins.
Yeah, I think it's definitely fair to consider the fact that they might take a minor step back, especially losing a guy like Rashawn Slater. I think that's going to be a big loss for this offense. I think they'll win 9 to 11, maybe 12 at most wins.
A very interesting take. Yep. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad.